Are you looking for answers to the unknown? Welcome to Live with Medium Lisa Phoenix and step into the magical presence of the metaphysical realm. Lisa will share the wisdom and musings from her own experiences, have intriguing conversations with other mediums and healers, in addition to exploring a wide array of topics and teachings on intuitive and mediumship development. Lisa will be taking your calls and inviting your friends and loved ones in the spirit world to share their stories with us. Raise your awareness as you are reunited on the level of love, and let's go live with Medium Lisa Phoenix.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lisa Phoenix live show. So, happy Sunday. I am actually, to be honest with you, I'm having a problem getting my guest on the line. And so if you could give me a minute to handle this technical issue, I will be with you. And again, I'm so sorry for the technical interference. I want to welcome you to the show today. And I'm sorry, I'm a little off because of the technical difficulties. So if you would just bear with me a moment, I will call you. So welcome, everybody. We are on the air with AJ Barrera, and I am so sorry about those technical difficulties this morning, everybody. It kind of threw me off a little. AJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me on. You know, it's been pretty crazy morning as it was on my end. I mean, a bunch of technical issues going on here, so glad to finally be on here.
Yeah, me too. So I want to welcome you all. It's a great Sunday in Southern California, minus technical difficulties. And my show is all about healing, mediumship, energy management. And so excited, as I said earlier, to welcome you on the show today. AJ Barrera is a psychic medium who has served as a bridge between this physical world and with those who have crossed over to the other side. When working with spirit, AJ has captivated thousands of clients and audience members with his down-to-earth style, along with his stunning accuracy and his ability to convey messages from the spirit world. AJ's straightforward approach has led him on many guest appearances, including The Grace Heelberg Show, Life with LaToya, Oprah Winfrey Network, The New Ricky Lake Show, I Love Jenny, Access Hollywood, E! News, Fox, CBS, NBC News, Loveline with Dr. Drew, Carson Daily Morning Show, and many others. I'd love it if you'd all check out his website at ajbarrera.com. That's AJBARRERA.com. And AJ, as we start things out, first I'd like to ask you, what do you got coming up?
Oh my God. I do. Geez. I do have two events. I do have a Spirit Circle this month and December, but they're both officially sold out. They've been sold out a couple weeks ago. But I do have this exciting event that I am doing with another great medium, actually 4 other mediums. It's with Cindy Keza, Psychic Colby, Jennifer Schaefer, and myself. We're raising money for her children in Indonesia. It's all a charity event. The tickets are $50. And that information can be found on my website at ajbarrera.com. That is on December 10th, I believe, which is a Thursday. And Cindy, and I guess kind of like all of us, kind of already raised $2,500 within the first week or two.
Oh,
and
that's
so
wonderful.
So all that money that we're going to get from the tickets, it's all going to go to the children. So we're not, taking any of the money. No, it's not a percentage cut or anything. Strictly, all that money is going to all the kids in Indonesia that need food, clothing, and whatnot. So it's going to be a great event, and all that information is going to be on my website as well at ajbarrera.com.
And can you just tell us where is the event?
You know what? I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I think I know it's in LA. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
But I think it's called the Gateway Portal. I don't know if that is confirmed, but I do have the flyer that was sent over to me. I'm actually going to post it this week, actually. So
gotcha.
Things have been pretty crazy on my end. I'm pretty busy, but I'm very blessed to even be part of this awesome healing event.
Right. And I know if it is at the Gateway, it's in West LA. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that's wonderful. And it's great to be busy, isn't it?
Oh my God, absolutely. Sometimes I need to take a moment to catch my breath. I'm like, where am I? What am I doing? Where am I supposed to be at? Who am I supposed to meet? Like, even right after the show, I have a client that's going to be, hopefully they don't ring the doorbell, but I have a client that's supposed to come to my house. So
Gotcha. So let's, we're moving into the holiday season, and can you share with us a little about your experience because, a lot of people want to contact their loved ones on the other side during this time. And we know that our loved ones always want to contact us during this time. What is your experience with all that?
Busy.
Yeah.
Again, it's busy, but in all honesty, a lot of people are going through some lonely times,
Yes.
missing their loved ones, grief. They don't want to celebrate the holidays because they lost that specific loved one. There's a lot of emotional issues that I deal with people, and it's not so much because they died around Christmas or Thanksgiving or Halloween or New Year's. It's not about that. It's about them not being around for the second year or the first year even, or the first couple months. So my main thing is trying to assist people and heal people during the process. And that's what I want to do. I want to be that voice, that stepping stone to lead people down the right direction. So if it is by giving them some sort of validation to know that their loved ones are still around them, then I'm doing the right thing. But it is busy, but honestly, I can't explain it, but it is a blessing because last night I did this sold out event in Riverside, and I mean, by far, I keep on saying my last event is always the best, and I mean, it just gets better and better with Spirit, and that's the only way I can describe it because they allow me to be so plugged in to Spirit, to this work that I can't explain it. I got so emotional last night, so emotional at the end of the reading, and it was this lady that lost her husband. Mm-hmm. And he came through very loud, very clear, and started talking about their love and celebrations, their daughter's birthday that just passed, and this and that, and I had to stop and think and go somehow remove myself and go is this really happening? Am I really feeling these emotions? And I kind of felt as if I was on the other side, as being the sitter, and
wow.
That has never happened to me out of all the years I've done this. But it was at that moment that I was standing on stage in front of all these people that I was just like, oh my God, this is what it feels like. This is the emotions that they're going through. And this lady, she looked fairly young, and she lost her husband, has her daughter and whatnot, and her husband's coming through and acknowledging this and that and blah, blah. And I just can't believe it sometimes. I sometimes have to pitch myself when I wake up and go do I actually get to do this work for people? You know
right.
what I mean?
Yes, no, I think it's awesome. In fact, I was part of a training yesterday, and, they were very, very beginners, just extremely beginning this work. And there was a lot of questions, and it's so cool on the other end too, when you see that light bulb go on with people, because they were talking about how having spirits around kind of scared them a little bit, and they didn't one gentleman was like, well, shouldn't the spirits stay over there and we're over here? But at that point where he actually started working and he actually saw the healing that another student was feeling, it was amazing to see those light bulbs go on, because it is really about healing.
It is, and it's an amazing process. It's speaking of areas.
Hold
on to that
thought. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lisa Phoenix Live with my special guest, AJ Barrera. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Dr. Kevin here. And I want to invite you every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, to join me on the Dr. Kevin Show, where we have a diversity of guests who help you step outside the box, behind the curtain, and see what a load of crap is going on in the world today, so you have more information with which to make better decisions. We'll see you there. Namaste.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
If you've ever said, I do want it all. I do want happiness. I do want love. And I do desire the happily ever after fairy tale life, then this show is for you. Join me, Dana Nicole Brandon, for my internationally acclaimed show, Bridal Talk Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'll bring you the top experts in the fields of communication, money, relationships, finance, pleasure, play, travel, sexuality, parenting, real estate, adventure, comfort, care, passion, and love.
The future of internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, AJ Barrera. AJ, pick up where you left off.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, there's so much to go on with. But what I was going to say is that last night you came into one of my, I guess, readings in some sense as a frame of reference, and the way that worked was that. When I was shutting down everyone for basically as opening up for a meditation and closing them down at the event, like as, so I don't go home with their loved ones, they don't go home with other people's loved ones.
Right.
You remember how you were, you sent me an email, I believe, and it was before you were speaking with me about you going to Arthur Findlay or knowing these people and this and that and blah, blah. So long story short, I saw you and I go, wow. I go like, am I supposed to say Lisa? Am I supposed to see that? And then I saw the email. And then what highlighted in the email for me was Arthur Findlay College. So I'm in the back and this, older lady who was like maybe in her 70s, maybe 80s. And I get pulled to her and I ask her, is there any reason why I'm actually supposed to talk about like England or going to like Arthur Findlay, this and that? She goes, what did you say? And this is like, like I already shut everyone down. It was the last message. And she goes, I'm actually leaving to England. I'm moving to England next week, and this is my last week here. And it's that simple, how spirit works. So they work in amazing ways.
Right. Yeah, no, that is amazing too. And like I said, when people that don't understand this work step in and that light bulb goes off, it's kind of amazing, that because this work is really about life. It's not about death. Don't you think?
That is the truth. That is the honest truth. And I wish more people would develop this work or get more in tune to it rather than seeing what it is for television. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff on television that people think that, we're kind of like walking around like man on the street, that we're always, in a sense, turned on, that we can't turn off this ability and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, a little loony to kind of think that, because you are in control of your ability. God put you, or divine, some higher power put you in control of doing this work. And no way he's not going to allow you, or they're not going to allow you, this divine energy, to just walk around and be like a live wire. You know what I mean? So
right.
There are ethics to this work. And that's so important to me, is that I grew up in this field with my mentor, Ellen Marin, and she's the one that told me, like, there's ethics to this, and this is such at a young age of doing this work. And, you know, I never wanted to be that man on the street or the person running around giving readings or disrespecting people's energy or their vibration and whatnot. So I do believe people should have a good understanding what this work is truly about and understanding the process of the work, not just about the messages.
I completely agree with you. And speaking of the media, because you have had a lot of experience with the media, and I know that potentially there's some new things coming up for you, but what would you say do you believe the pulse of where it is now and where it's going?
You know, for the medium platform, for the medium and the media platform, it is going. It has calmed down a lot, you know, in the industry. I've seen it. You know, I think we've all seen it with all these ghosts and paranormal shows and this and that. They finally took a little slowdown with them. I think people just got burned out and tired of them. Same thing with all these psychic shows and this and that. People are getting burned out and tired of them. But I think the ones that truly do last, like for instance, a great example, like John Edward, his show Crossing Over, that did very, very well for himself. And he was kind of like the pioneer of mediums doing this work. And even though you had James Van Praagh and Sylvia Browne and Char Mongolis and all these other people that have done television, there's a way that it needs to be approached and taught. And I think the way John actually did it was in a great way. And I think that people that are portraying the work in the right light, rather than just for, you know, the fun or the personality of this and that, sometimes it gets burned out very easily and it becomes a fluff. And, you know, you don't – I don't want to say you become an overnight success, but it does become that way. And I don't know if it's for the right message or the right meeting, and I'm sure they're doing it for the right reasons. But I do believe that it has gone all over the map. So I don't think it's as crazy as it was before with media networks and television networks wanting to do all these shows. I think it has had to change a different angle and perspective, which is something that I'm working on now, is a different perspective, a different light of producing a digital platform of mediumship, basically.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And I do want to ask you, because I don't want to put you on the spot, but, you know, on this show, we cannot take call-ins because they don't have that ability yet. But I did for sure get one, somebody who posted a question on my Facebook page. And so want to know if you can take that and
Absolutely.
Answer it. Okay. It's very short and cryptic, but
I love those.
It was posted by a woman named Ellie, and she asks, "What is Andreas's next move?"
Andreas. So I'm assuming that's like more of a psychic reading, correct?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So that's the only way I'm going to assume. As soon as I got Andreas, my impression with the energy was actually a bunch of yellow energy. So anytime I see yellow energy would represent like either there's some sort of cautionary energy, or two, it represents there needs to be a form of communication that needs to happen with this move. So the communication means like talking with a real estate agent, talking with the leasing agent, whatever it is. I feel like there needs to be a process that needs to be worked out first. So if he's thinking or she's thinking about like just jumping and making the next move, I don't feel like this is going to be a quick move. I feel like this is going to be more of a lengthy process before they even find the right place that's going to be comfortable with them. Second of all, in the situation, I don't know if they're looking for the move when I talk about maybe career-wise, because I feel like I want to lead in that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. So go.
Yeah, because I feel like I want to lead in that direction rather than the physical move. Mm-hmm. So whatever the move is going to pertain to, I feel like it's relating their lifestyle. And I think their lifestyle right now would represent for me, again, with the yellow energy, was like, it's been on hold. It has been a lengthy process. Like, again, there has to be some sort of unique parallel in this process that hasn't been doing very well. Obviously, they ask the question because either one, they're concerned, or two, they really don't give a crap and they're just want to know what's happening. But my impression is that I do feel like in a very good way that we need to kind of like start rebuilding our foundation. When I say we, meaning Andreas, needs to start rebuilding, like, what is the downfall? What are the faults that are causing me to not move forward? And to me, I feel, even though we're in November, I actually feel like I want to go into like mid-January or towards the end of January. That is going to be very significant for their own personal well-being. I don't feel like it's going to be a new job, but I actually feel like it's going to be more of a of a transitional point as like positive energy. So if they feel like, you know, am I going to get laid off? Is it going to be the right place for me? You know, whatever the situation is, I do feel like mid-January, end of January is going to be very significant for the person.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, no problem.
No, and I heard, you know, either they were listening or we'll just pass it on to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
With all the craziness that happened this morning, we don't know who's listening and who's
Oh my
not.
God. Yeah, I know. Like, you know, I'm always, you should see me. Like, I'm here freaking out here in like the little home studio here. And I'm like, Jennifer, I go, where's my, you know, adapter? Where's this? Where's that? I'm like, they're calling me 50 times. I go, I can't, you know, so I'm like, I told them I can listen to you guys. I can hear you guys, meaning like, see that you guys are on my screen, but I couldn't hear you guys with any headphones or anything. So, but I'm glad I found it. So here I am.
Now, I do want to go back. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about this time of year, and because I come across a lot of people who are kind of like, well, I want to be in touch with my loved ones, but I think I'll be bothering them. Do you know what
Right.
Let's dispel some of these myths that happen.
That is a great question, and a great way to kind of go into this, because holidays are obviously a time of grief and need and missing and hope and all that. So it's a mixed emotions that happen, and I don't believe we are disturbing them at all whatsoever. You know, I always joke around with people and tell them our loved ones are more alive than we are, to be quite honest. So if we think we're disturbing them, or the old saying, let them rest in peace. You know, I don't think they're quite resting if we think resting is like just going to sleep and whatnot. Like, they're not doing that. So they're there kind of looking out for us, protecting us. They're almost like, I would say like a guardian angel, but absolutely not a guardian angel. They're kind of like, you know, a person that's going to assist you, a spiritual person that's going to assist you from the side, or try to communicate with you, give you signs and signals if they're still around you. And I think the biggest misconception is that we feel like that we're doing some sort of harm to them by, in a sense, disturbing them or waking them up. And the fact is that they're not just being disturbed. If anything else, they're disturbing us to try to get our attention, to say, hey guys, like, I'm right here. I'm going to send you this sign. Like, if it's going to be a bird, a butterfly, you know, a caterpillar, whatever it is, they're going to find a way to get your attention. And that's why I always joke around with you, if it's by, you know, knocking something over in your house, turning on a TV or whatever it is, this is their way to say, hey, I'm just want to let you know I'm here for you. And when that does happen, whatever thought happens or pops in your head, if it is a specific loved one, then most likely it is that loved one that you're thinking of, or that popped in your head, that is right there with you, that gave you that sign or that message. Right.
And it is that simple. It doesn't have to be like really complicated or complex, correct?
Oh, no, absolutely. It's that simple. And people go like, it can't be that simple. I go, well, it is. It's that simple. And I think if we become more aware of it and we realize what's going on in our spiritual lives rather than our everyday life, because we become so involved of trying to, you know, pay the bills and trying to like deal with our marriages and relationships and our kids and this and that we forget to kind of take a moment to thank our loved ones or think about our loved ones. Like, we just had Day of the Dead, that just October, November, that just passed.
Right.
And in our culture, for I'm Mexican American, and people that don't know I'm Mexican American, Day of the Dead is basically that we honor our loved ones, or All Souls Day, basically, or All Saints Day. And there's a part that we build altars and this and that. I don't build altars because I don't believe I need an altar to kind of show my love or my gratitude to my loved ones. But people in my community or my background still continue to do that. So it's a way that we honor our loved ones and communicate with our loved ones to kind of show our respect to them. But it is that simple, just to kind of like make a note or wake up in the morning and say, hi mom, hi dad, or hi so-and-so, I'm just thinking of you. And you just give them that love and respect right back to them.
Right. And then you will be surprised, because you will start becoming more aware of things happening around you, don't you think?
Oh yeah, because you become this kind of like this instrument, this vessel. It's almost like, so take yourself. This is a funny term that I'm not going to use, and I just laughed. I had to laugh at myself because how I got shown to me, like a trumpet that we play. There's a thing called a mediumship trumpet, so that's so ironic for me that through. But I kind of think of it as spirit kind of playing the trumpet. They're using these certain buttons to play music, and you are the instrument that they're playing music to speak with you.
Perfect. Now, hang on. We will be right back. You're listening live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, AJ Barrera. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
The truth is, you can't change the world if you're broke. I know, I've tried. Isn't it time you turned your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business? I'm Michelle Barr. Join me every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Sacred Success.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Are you ready to shift your energy, consciousness, and limiting beliefs? Join me, Shefali Burns, every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Shifting with Shefali here on OMTimes Radio. Shift the blocks, limitations, and negative energies that have kept you from experiencing a life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Are you ready to shift with Shefali? Are you ready to shine your brilliance?
The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Welcome back. You're live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, AJ Barrera. So, AJ, even though, we just talked for a moment about how close our relatives are to us and stuff, I mean, do you find that grief can kind of keep us like a bit further apart from them?
Absolutely. And I think part of that grief is huge, because I do believe that all of us, no matter what we're going through, if it is the loss of a pet or a specific loved one, we need to go through that grieving process.
Yes.
I'm a big advocate of people doing that first before jumping to go see me and seeing a medium. Last night, I had this, this lady that just lost her loved one. I think it was maybe a month ago or 2 months ago. I'm not quite sure. And she goes, how can I set up a private appointment with you? She goes, I just heard of you just today from this event and blah, blah, blah. And she told me that she lost her loved one. So I told her, honestly, this is not the right time for you. She goes, I would love to be the medium for you. But I told her, I don't think I'm the medium for you right now, because I want you to understand what you're feeling, what you're going through. And she goes, no, I'm fine. I think when people say I'm fine, they just numb themselves in that moment because they don't want to deal with those emotions. And sometimes they feel like the mediumship session will fix everything. It doesn't fix it. It only maybe perhaps helps, or two, it stirs up more emotions that you haven't dealt with. So it could be a great opportunity for the person to sit down with the medium in a very quick time, or two, it may cause a lot of issues emotionally where you don't feel like you're stable in your own mind. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh my God, I just connected with him. It's so soon. And then you kind of regret yourself, or two, you want to do it more often by sitting with other mediums or the same medium itself. So I do believe that people need to kind of wait a couple months, if it's 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, so they can go through that process and feel all those emotions, anger, hate, happiness, sad, all that good stuff. And then if that does not work, go seek some sort of professional help. If it's like a therapist or a counselor or whatnot, that can help you through the process. And last resort, in some sense, if you feel like, things are great and then you want to try out a medium, and then sit with a medium, that would kind of not be your last resort, but a way to kind of help yourself kind of put the Band-Aid over the wound.
Right. And again, it's like you said just now, it's a process. Grief is a process. It's just not a thing that,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, people forget that. They go, "Oh my God, I forgot I have to deal with these emotions." You know what I mean? They expect to kind of just throw them in a bag over the shoulder and not really deal with them. You know what I mean? And I see that a lot in my field of doing this work. You and I were both in a service profession. We're always trying to assist and help people if it's doing private readings, circles, and development circles, and group sittings and whatnot. And so the best thing that we can do is be honest, be straightforward, and making sure that we give the people the best light if it's going to be, not being the right medium or being the right medium for them. And that's all we can do is kind of just lead them in the right direction, or hopefully that spirits assist us to lead them in the right direction.
Right. And again, it's good for people to know, too, that sometimes, because I also know that people go who are grieving so much, and sometimes the spirits have a hard time getting through because of the grief factor. And sometimes they don't even realize how much they're grieving, do you know? And so I think it's good for people to know, too, that it's not that your loved one doesn't want to talk to you or, but sometimes that whole process, that's why you say it needs time to happen. Correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because when you're in the state of mind, and spirit's almost like in the state of mind, even though they don't have a physical body, it's almost becomes a point with them, because if you're so emotionally blocked in that moment, then it becomes difficult for spirit to kind of step forward and come through, because either one, you're grieving so much, so it makes it difficult for either spirit to link through because you're wanting something. So kind of think of it as if you want something so bad, sometimes we create it to not come through because we want it so bad. So it's almost like, a magnet effect. You want it and you get pushed forward to it, but spirit almost like says, I want to do it, but it kind of moves a different direction. So it becomes a magnet effect where you guys are wanting both that connection, but neither of you guys are ready to deal with it at that very moment. So spirit will find a way to make that moment happen, if it's through a medium or if it's through having your own personal experience through a dream, or by smelling or sensing them or hearing them or feeling them. So they're going to find a way to get in contact with you. And I've noticed this over years, that I think people are becoming more aware too, in regards to maybe perhaps not just spirituality itself, but into mediums and into psychics, because of what other people experience with other mediums, or a lot more people are experiencing consultations with the mediums. So I think that this whole society, or our community in some sense, is becoming more aware of it and understanding of it. Maybe perhaps still skeptical, but obviously becoming more aware of it.
Yeah, and I also think just on an energetic level, people are like seeing things more energetically. So it's kind of opening the doors maybe for more people to have their own experiences with spirit. Don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I wish that people continue to have these experiences. I love when people ask me certain questions about their own experiences. And here's the funny part, is that they will say, AJ, like, what do you think about this? Like, this happened and blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever that experience is. And I have a big smile on my face as they're telling me this, because you know why? The simplicity of it is that they just had their own experience. I don't need to define it to them. That was their experience, and that's what it is. It is what it is. And some people don't see that as an experience. They see it as like, oh, was it just dreaming? What was it? I go, it is what it is. It was your loved ones coming through and saying hello. It was your loved ones that came over and kissed you in bed at night. You know what I mean? Whatever that experience is, I don't want to take it away from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to change their perspective or their view, say like, oh my God, maybe it's this now because the medium said this or I said that. So whatever that experience is, I want your listeners to know, like, keep it as your own personal experience. Don't try to debunk it. Don't try to like overanalyze it. It is what it is sometimes.
Right. And I also think that, people can have these experiences and not necessarily, I got to be a medium now.
Right.
No, because, I find people, oh my God, am I supposed to be a medium? Am I supposed to be a psychic? Because I'm having these experiences. But I feel a lot of times and more, this kind of connection to spirit and energy and the divine is going to be in like the day-to-day, people in normal, I'm saying normal, which is the wrong word, but just, whether you're an engineer or you're, whatever it is you do, I feel like that there's doors opening for people to have these experiences, in everyday life, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It's going to just be like everyone, walking around with Starbucks. You know what I mean? So it's going to be the same thing.
Uncle
you know what I mean? Everyone's going to have a Starbucks in their hand.
Right.
Right? And that is the truth, because we're seeing that more, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like, it's so sad to say, but, it has become, a fad of people like loving mediums and psychics at their parties or their events, or just knowing people that do this work. And it's almost like everyone in Santa Monica and LA are intuitive, and that could be the case, but that doesn't mean that we all have to do this work. You know what I mean? So I think we need to kind of like wake up and realize what we're experiencing and know that what we're experiencing. So if it's like all the people that are doing soul cycling, that's their way of meditation, form of meditation. So whatever gets you to that vibrational energy, I do believe that areas like Santa Monica, like Santa Barbara, anywhere obviously near the ocean or on the ocean, I do believe a lot of these people are highly in tune, because what the water attracts is a lot of energy. So I've noticed too, a lot of mediums that I personally know obviously live on the water, or by a lake or whatnot. So I think in some sense that I do believe if we fine tune our abilities and realize that what we're getting into or what we're involving ourselves in is just energy. It's nothing too spooky. It's nothing too freaky. It's just something we need to redevelop and not go out and just be a medium.
Gotcha. I agree 100%. And speaking of which, I know you covered this a little bit earlier, but we just kind of blew through it very fast. What are some of the things, if people are looking for signs of their loved ones this holiday season, that you can give as examples?
That's a great one. So there's a couple of ways that I want to go with this. So
okay.
And I don't know where I want to start with this, but kind of think of it, first of all, like we're obviously in the moment of holidays and want to experience our loved ones. So let's take a step back, and you're realizing like, oh my God, I am not experiencing signs from my loved ones. I am not experiencing this. So if that is the case, let's kind of put it in that area first. It's because that's where a lot of difficulty comes in, that people want to see. So if that is the case around holidays, I always kind of like joke around, but honestly, like I always tell people, like make them their favorite like Thanksgiving, dessert or dish or Christmas dish, or if they loved a certain wine or alcohol or cocktail or soda, whatever it is, kind of keep that out for them around the holidays, or kind of like celebrate or drink that for them, or two, set a chair aside for them around the holidays. Those are little things that you can do to kind of just honor them and pay respect. Doesn't mean that is a sign that they are around you, but that can sure make a connection knowing that they are around you, make you feel a little bit more comfortable in your own skin knowing that they are around you. Now, ways that we find that our loved ones are still around us are paying attention, like, for example, that we mentioned, like a TV going on and off, or radio, getting a certain email with a certain name on it that you realize, like, that's weird, I never email this person. All of a sudden they emailed me with my mom's name. You know what I mean? It has my mom's first name. So little things like that will come through to try to get their message across to you. So if it is going to be like by birds, or a dog or a cat showing at your door, or someone that you bump into at a grocery store and it has the clerk has your dad's first name. You know what I mean? So all these are little signs that we have to pay attention to. It doesn't mean that you have to be like a stalker and look at everyone's name tag and ask them their name. You know what I mean? But it happens
stalker,
right? It happens organically that spirit is going to show you the sign. It's going to happen either when you least expect it. It's not going to happen when you're looking for it. You know what I mean? It's always like, for example, for me this morning, yes. I'm going crazy for my headphone jack. I go, I don't know why it's missing from my board and this and that. And all of a sudden, I stop, I breathe in, I count for 10 seconds, I go, oh my God, I am going to miss the show. And all of a sudden, I look on the floor, it's right on the floor, right underneath like my desk. And it's that simple that if we just take a moment, take a beat, and just listen and focus and pay attention to what we're receiving, the answers are going to be right there in front of us if we just pay attention.
Yes, I do that with my keys all the time.
Right. So does my wife. Very often, quite often. I told her we need an alarm on your keys so we can find them in the house.
But I mean, I get frantic, and it's like, and then it's like when I stop and breathe and just listen, I'm usually led kind of in the right direction.
Right.
And it's like, oops,
and that's truth.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to say like our loved ones are the same way, right?
Right.
But it is. I mean, it can be as simple, I believe, as standing in the kitchen over the holidays, and all of a sudden you'll start to smell something that'll be reminiscent of your grandma or your mom, or
Yeah, it may be that, or the rolls are burning. No.
Yeah. One of the two. You're listening live with Medium Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, AJ Barrera. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Come heal yourself. What is healing? Healing is nothing but connecting to your all-knowing higher self that already has solutions to all your problems and is always there to guide you. Through this show, we help you to connect with that you are and help you realize the innate potential you have to heal every aspect of your life. So come heal yourself every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, with your host, Monica Goyal. Namaste.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. What if business could be fun? What if business is the adventure of living? What are you choosing? Where do you do business that makes it easier, more fun, or more joyful for you? We'd love to see where you do business. Connect with us on Instagram at Joy of Business or Twitter at Joy of Business, and share your pictures with hashtags BusinessDoneWhere and Joy of Business. Let's change the world with business.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapist for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're live with Lisa Phoenix and my special guest, AJ Barrera. So, AJ, I want to know, because we're kind of getting down. We're in our last, 10-minute stretch here. What would you like? Would you like to tell people? With regards to their loved ones and the holiday season.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We have to notice that when we're going this time of grief, this time of love and light, and those that are seeking to make that connection, or those that we're missing that are just not around us because they're far away from us physically, we have to make note that our loved ones, living and passed over, are merely just a thought away. And the way that we can build that connection is by communicating with them. If it's through social media. Social media is so huge these days. Even like grandparents have them, just to stay in contact with their kids or their grandkids. So there are ways out there to make that connection, or picking up the cell phone or landline and calling that loved one who's still living. Those that we're missing, we need to kind of emphasize on sending that love and gratitude to them and thanking them for just being around us, or having them as being part of our life when they were still here, but also to honor them that they're still around us in the spiritual realm. So we need to kind of raise our vibration and our awareness and make certain things more of a custom thing, which is something more of our routine or our reality. And I think sometimes we forget about those that are passed on unless it's their anniversary, their birthday, or around the holidays. The message that I want to give people or leave people with is that you can communicate with them anytime that you want to, those who are passed over. Sometimes we are just the mouthpiece as the medium. That's what we do. We interpret the information we were able to communicate with your loved ones a little bit clearer than maybe perhaps you can. But if you work by raising your vibration and meditate, and doesn't mean that you're going to become a psychic, that you're going to, do this work, full blown or whatnot. It just makes me feel like that either one, you're going to become more aware of your loved ones and start noticing them or feeling them or smelling their favorite cologne or perfume, or start hearing certain songs on the radio that remind you of that loved one. All these are little signs that they're trying to give you to let they're still vibrating with you.
Gotcha. And you did mention meditation, but what are some of the other ways that people can lift their vibration?
Music. Music is one of the biggest ones I always tell people. I'm a big music person. I love music. I may not know the artist. I may not know, the song the song. But I love music, from jazz, classical, country. I love all music. And I do believe if we put ourselves in a state of mind that makes us happy, and Happy Gilmore, I think it's with Adam Sandler, where they tell him, like, go to your happy place, and his happy place is this beautiful woman or this beautiful like lady. You know what I mean? Kind of think of your happy place like that. It's almost like a different type of meditation or altered state of mind, where we kind of go there to raise our vibration. So if it's by listening to music, sometimes by listening to music, we raise our vibration. That could be our state of mind, or to our vibration with our loved ones. 2, we can either sit in circle or development circles by kind of, working with energy. Meditation is always a huge thing. Right before you go to bed is another technique. I call it kind of like the magic hour, which is, an hour before you go to bed or 30 minutes before you go to bed. Keep a journal by your side and a pen and or a notepad, and say, I want my loved one to come through. They may not come through that night, but eventually they will come through if it's a couple days or a week from now, or whatever the situation is, that they will start giving you signs and signals from the other side. And I recommend writing down all those experiences. So if it is about, someone just popping up in your head or someone just showing up in your dream, it's that simple. That's their way of saying hello to you.
Right. And I have noticed a lot of times they do, the first contact with them will be through a dream, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's easiest, isn't it? Sometimes for them to get through.
Yeah, because we're not in the state of mind where we're thinking about everything that's going on through our mind. And plus, we're in an altered state of mind where our consciousness is, in a sense, kind of like turned off, or our brain is, in a sense, turned off, where we're not thinking about X, Y, Z. It makes it a little bit easier because our vibration is much either one, higher because we're at a different conscious level, like the super subconscious, where we're kind of in a state of mind of intuition and loved ones and spirit and all that good stuff. We kind of raise our vibration in our sleep, and spirit kind of lowers down theirs, and they make that connection just in that dream state, because that's the easiest way to realize, or for them to get across to you.
Gotcha. And then also, I do want you to go over, you said both your spirit circles that you have planned are sold out. Are you going to be doing any more in the new year? Where are you headed, AJ? Tell us.
That's right.
Or do you know?
No, I really don't know. What I can tell you is that I'm just working on a couple of projects. I'm not at liberty to speak about them yet because of what we're working on. Either we move forward with it, we don't move forward with it. I'm working on a bunch of different stuff, which is all for a great cause. Either it's going to be charity campaigns and all these good things. So, but the spirit circles are sold out for November and December. I haven't held a spirit circle for like 9 months or so, and I think that's one reason why they sold out, because I haven't done one in so long, and people have been emailing us over and over and over again. And I said, you know what? Because I've been doing demonstrations almost like every month, once a month, like public demonstrations.
Gotcha.
So I may do one for like January to kind of like do like start off the new year, like more like a psychic circle rather than a mediumship circle, because people always want to know what's lying ahead for the year or for the next couple months. And so I may do that one as kind of like gearing up into like 2016. Can you believe we're already moving to 2016? Jesus,
it's crazy, isn't it?
I can't believe I even said it. I'm like, oh my god, we're already in 2016. Oh my god. That is crazy. So,
though, coming into the new year, I didn't mean about specific projects, though, but you're going to, it sounds like you're going to be doing a lot. You're going to be demoing more and stuff like that, do you think?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more demos, a lot more events with other mediums as well. So I'm going to be working with, if it's going to be from Orange County, if it's going to be from like, New York or wherever, I'm going to be teaming up with some colleagues and friends and maybe certain experts if in the dream field or whatnot. So I'm trying to, build a platform of people being open to mediumship, but also bringing in, some great authors that I can collaborate with that are amazing to me, and I'm respected to even know them. So there's a lot of new things that are coming up for 2016, and it's going to be an array of different platforms, not just on mediumship, but working with people with maybe grief counselors and whatnot. So like a talk and mediumship. So I just want people to get healing, and that's what I want to do is bring more healing. If I can bring other people with me into this platform on my events, then so be it. That this is what's supposed to happen.
Wow, I think that's awesome, and sometimes you can reach more people by doing like the larger demonstrations, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think just last night, I think we had, I mean, it's a small venue, but I think we had like 55 people, 60 people. It's a small venue, but they packed the house in that place. And here's the thing. If I know within those 60 people that I can get, a message across to maybe 25 of them within that hour or 2 hours, then then I'm doing more readings and rather than just sitting in a private reading or a spirit circle. You know what I mean? So we are using these platforms to reach more people, or to plant the seed. And that seed is being planted and allowing them to allow their curiosity, their own connection grow with their loved ones. They may not experience a one-on-one reading directly where they get a reading in the audience, but they may get a reading indirectly, or they may experience their own reading or experience a reading through their own experience by someone else's reading. So it's almost like, oh my God, that does sound exactly like my dad. That's his name. This is how he passed over. Maybe you're not being read, but it's almost like a parallel or a bridge. When that happens, that's part of your loved one stepping forward and coming through for you as well. So don't ever walk away thinking that they didn't come through. If there's a reading that's very similar, that when you're in the audience, that's maybe perhaps their way of stepping forward and coming through, letting you know that they are still around you.
Exactly. And do you think you're going to be doing any teaching next year?
I will be doing some teaching. I will be holding some development circles in Irvine. I have a new office in Irvine. And I just started that in October, like maybe the last 2 weeks in October. I am pretty busy out there doing events and circles and whatnot. So I will be announcing some development circles. They will be pocket friendly. So it's going to be weekly for like 6 weeks. And then we're going to develop into going into intermediate. We're going to go beginners, intermediate, and then advanced. So we're going to work on 3 different levels. And they're going to be pocket friendly. I think they're only going to be like $40 or $30 a class. I have no idea, maybe even cheaper.
I love that phrase. They're going to be pocket friendly.
Right?
We need that in LA,
Right?
Sorry, I cut your train of thought, but I just love that phrase.
Because it is. I think sometimes we realize like, oh my God, the class is going to be like $60 or this and that. And we realize like, I can't really use that $60 because I need it for gas. So we kind of put it in perspective and as an investment or something that you're investing in yourself, as saying like, oh, it's only $20. And we realize that $20 would expand into your development or an investment in yourself. So whatever that investment is, I want people to afford these classes. I don't want to make them extremely expensive. And there are people that take these workshops that are like $1,200 or whatnot for a day. And I think sometimes, people are not everyone are able to afford that price. So if people can afford this class, and I'm not going to open up the class for like 50 people. The class is going to be only held for I think like 8 to 10 people the most. So I want people to experience it in an intimate group and be committed for 6 weeks, and then the next 6 weeks, and then the next 6 weeks. So if they are able to do it and realize that the classes are only $20 to like $30 or whatever the price is, then I can continue to keep my teaching going. But yeah, I am going to be teaching next year, and that's something that's a lot of people have been asking me for me to do. So I'm going to be moving in that direction as well.
Perfect. So now for all this wonderful thing, and again, you have an event coming up soon in December, right? And we think it's at the Gateway, but it's on your website, correct?
Yeah. It's actually going to go on my website today, or if not Monday. So we're putting all the info out. There's also going to be a link on my social media. I try to stay very social, but I'm not on social media that often. I don't have like alerts that come on my phone, right, on my computer. I kind of shut those off, because I don't want to be bombarded. You know what I mean?
I hear you. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show today with all our crazy experiences in the beginning. Again, thanks a lot, AJ, for being on. And please visit AJ's website at www.ajbarrera.com. That's AJBARRERA.com. Thank you, all you listeners out there, for hanging out with us today. If you want further information about the show, you can find me on the OMTimes network. Live Police Phoenix is on every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 10 a.m. Pacific time. So please tune back in with us next week.